everyone. We're here today to talk a little bit about the upcoming immersion in Munich, Germany. My name is Kat. I'm from Los Angeles, and I've been involved with over 10 immersions in the past here with Moses. And we want to share a bit of more in-depth information for any of you who might be interested in joining this wonderful weekend. So I guess we'll start with Moses sharing a bit about his background, how he's come to facilitate such events, and a little bit about the philosophy that is shared during these weekends.
Thank you, Kat. I consider myself as a very lucky human being. I was born in an environment where I saw my father spending many hours in prayer, in meditation, and coming out of it aware, conscious, loving, caring. I had the privilege of having someone that could just be a role model. And so when I would be in the presence of my father, and especially of his mentor, the Rebbe, my spiritual father, these were human beings that just being in their presence, something happened because of them, rather than being in reaction, anxious, angry, nervous, but constantly being in presence. I was able to relax the side in me that was perhaps anxious, angry, nervous reactor. And so this is what I grew up with. And I grew up specifically in a religious environment. So all of this, so presence and consciousness, was packaged in a dogmatic way. And so probably the only difference between what I am experiencing now and what I'm offering compared to what I received is that rather than experiencing this in a way which was packaged to me in a very exclusive way. There's an us, whoever's part of our religion, our community, our family, an us versus them. I today experience this as something that can be offered in a very inclusive way. So anyone who wishes, anyone who feels ready for this can have access to it. So I would like to offer this in a very inclusive way, and as much as possible with terminology which is universal, bringing people to an experience.
Thank you, Moses. Could you give a little bit of context for those watching this of the weekend, maybe the philosophy or the content?
So the basic idea is that a lot of people, I do not want to generalize, but a lot of people often find themselves in a reactor mode. So very often stressed, very often in anxiety, angry, nervous, whatever those emotions are that are coming from fear. And a lot of people go through life this way. And a lot of the relationships and a lot of the most important events of life are conditioned by the stress, by the fears, and I would dare to say by the trauma that many are carrying with themselves. So this weekend is designed to accompany any individual to reach at least a certain calmness, a state where it's easier to go inwards. And from this experience of being inwards, being able to connect with the others present in a safe way. And out of this safety, the individual, the participant, is able to reach a certain vulnerability. And from this vulnerability, one is able to transcend. Transcend is an experience to actually reach a peaceful state. For some, it could be a blissful state of being aware that I am. So rather than being in this me that has to constantly fight through life in survival mode, actually being this beingness, this I amness, some will call it spirit, depending if you're coming from religion, you might call it the soul. I don't want to get lost in translation here of terminology. And from this I amness, some are able to heal lots of past wounds. Some are able to actually find a certain new way how they want to move on in life rather than old patterns they've been used to. So it can vary the outcome of the weekend for each individual.
Masha, may I ask you a question? Because I find it very interesting that you say that you're coming from a religious background, but you feel safe within the setting that they have created for you, and you felt freedom. And this is something you want to share now. So this religious setting and this freedom, for me, and this feeling safe, somehow does not go together.
Yes, thank you, Fritzi. So to keep it simple, freedom comes from the I amness, or some will call this spirit, being in presence, being aware, consciousness, love. This is where freedom starts being experienced. For the past few thousand years, the main market that would sell the path towards freedom were religions. And most of these religions, or most of these spiritual mystical schools, would always attach a certain discipline to it, because it's important from the ego me perspective. It needs a certain discipline in order to reach to the present conscious I. This discipline, which is important for the me to reach the I, with time becomes dogma. Dogma is all the part where these systems start using certain techniques to control people. All the dogma, or all those elements brought in to control people, those are the ones that you're describing that don't sound freeing at all. So we are receiving packages that some of us have received either from religions or from past schools. And it's an interesting process today to sift through it and see, okay, which is the one that is going to help me reach this presence and consciousness, and which are the parts that maybe I can let go of because they were put in place for specific reasons, which were very useful 100 years ago or 1,000 years ago, 5,000 years ago. And right here, right now, we can apply this in a way that works better for us.
I would like to talk a little bit concretely about these 3 days in Munich. And maybe it would be nice to explain just the pace of the 3 days that I have been an immersive, and I already know that there is like a symphony, it's a different, it's a certain structure. Maybe you want to give a little insight.
Thank you, Eva. So I'm happy to do so. And then please, any one of you, please add to whatever parts that, that you would like to share with everyone. So it's 3 days. In the first day, it's basically a process to get the individual to get used to this new environment, and especially co-create a safe environment between people that might have never met before. And I just want to be clear about this. You come in, you do not have to, as a participant, share anything about your private life. You don't have to share your past. You don't have to share your future. So no fear about this. It might happen that if you feel really comfortable and really safe in this environment, well, something might come up that you want to process, but you will do so only if you feel really comfortable and safe. So the first day is dedicated to start opening up and to preparing the fertile ground for the work. The second day is the real work, and on the second day, some participants have described that they've reached a certain realization, a certain awareness that they might have never experienced before. And this can be both a blissful experience and a expansion and a joyful experience. And at the same time, it might awaken some other emotions. And it can be interesting work that some people have never gone through before. And then the third day is a way somehow to wrap up and to see how to integrate this properly in order for this to be then become part of your routine or part of your life following up from these 3 days. Any specific part of it that is coming up for you that you would like to share without giving too much away? People got to come and then experience it.
I mean, I'm really a big fan of the immersives and of the atmosphere, of course, also Moshe. I think it's a lot of your wisdom and your energy that you share. And for me, the immersive was, and I have been to 2 immersives, and they both were like seeds that you get, and then I could plant them in my own soil. And the more I connected with the this atmosphere and the invitation to be open, the more I could grow. And I joined the immersives in a very hard moment of my life. And I think it was for my mental and physical health such an amazing support that I could choose freely. It was just offered to me by being there, and then it was so enriching, and I could just pick whatever resonated with me. And yeah, I saw a lot of different people, and so quickly it happened that there was no fear, no comparison, no mistrust. It was just a very bienveillant group.
Yes. I can only say it's so difficult to put in words what it is about, because I think for everybody it is something else. Everybody is coming for a different reason. Everybody is at a different point of their life. Old people, young people, everybody. And it is exactly what each person wants it to be at that point. And it is so beautiful because it gives you the gift that everything that you need is within you. This peacefulness, you have the answers within you if you allow yourself to listen to yourself, to be in the still, to sit quiet, to calm down your mind, to connect with your heart, all these things that you're not used to. You don't know how to do it. So it teaches you a very or it shows you a very special way of being, connecting to yourself, and yes, to the energy within you that is blocked because of so many thoughts, belief systems that you usually think you have to follow. So that's why I had this question. How do you merge these two worlds together? And how do you let go in your personal journey of these dogmatic system of the religion? That's quite astonishing.
Thank you, Fritzi. I will just add one little point that obviously during the immersion we elaborate a lot on, but I just want to touch on it. From the me perspective, from the ego me looks everything into duality. So there's the bad and the good. There's a lot of judgment. There's me versus. So there's us versus them. From the I perspective, when I am present, when I'm conscious, when I'm aware, I love, I flow, I am one with all. So dogma is the part which, in the name of spirit, starts dividing us into and them. So obviously it's not coming from the I. Obviously it's coming from a me perspective. What we are offering here, thanks to the work of all our ancestors, all our parents, all our grandparents, all of these people have done so much to evolve into who we are right here, right now, we are able today to start living this with more serenity, with more inclusiveness. And it's not about excluding the me or them. It's all about all of I and all of us being one. And now it's possible more than ever.
Yes, it's so beautiful. And it's amazing the space you're creating for everybody to be able to connect to what is within. And that's why it's so difficult to describe, because for everybody it's something else. But you feel connected in the feeling. And that's very, very beautiful and special without having to talk.
Thank you, Fritzi, for mentioning this part, because there are some moments of silence and so much is happening in the silence. And I also want to mention that people from all walks of life come, and all ages. Obviously, we're speaking about adults. We yet don't include people under 16. So we don't include children, mainly to give the moms and dads that come a little break. But any adult, anyone who feels ready for this is welcome. And the best way is always to come through someone who has already experienced. And this is why I'm happy that you're here. So it's best to come by referral. So usually the person who comes trusts their friend or someone who has referred them to. Kat, do you want to add something of your own experience of the immersion? You've been through so many immersions. Anything that is coming up for you that you would like to share?
I mean, everything resonates so much, which has already been said. I don't know that I can say it any better. But this piece about connecting in the silence, I've been in immersions in Los Angeles, in Miami, in Brussels, and sometimes, there was French being spoken. I had no idea what's being said. But at the same time, it's not so much about the words or the silence. It's tuning in and slowing down. I mean, so much of our day-to-day life is so stimulating, I think more than ever in history. And it's such a tremendous luxury to slow down completely, where you can then feel this synergy and this deep connection with others, whether it's beyond language, it's in the silence, it's in a look in the eyes. And for me personally, this has been very, very healing, because in the past I experienced almost debilitating social stress, anxieties, and things like that, or I would like limit myself from life. So to in a matter of one day sit with people who are seemingly strangers and feel completely safe and completely connected, it's quite, I would call it miraculous.
Can I say it in German? Was sehr, sehr schön ist wirklich, dass man in einer Gruppe ist, in der jeder sich so wohl fühlt und entspannt. Und ich glaube, das trägt gegenseitig auch dazu bei, wenn man sieht, wie jeder andere bei sich ist, dass es immer, immer stärker wird. Und es ist tatsächlich mit Menschen, die man nicht kennt und nie gesehen hat und vielleicht auch so bald nicht wieder sieht, gibt es so ein großes Gefühl von Liebe, was nicht kitschig ist, was wirklich so ehrlich ist und so viel Offenheit. Und ich glaube, auch jeder nimmt so viel Liebe für sich selber mit. Und das war für mich wirklich eines der großartigsten Geschenke von diesen Immersives. Ja.
Dankeschön, Eva.
Hast du verstanden?
Alles. Even more than verstanden, I feel it. Thank you. Fritzi, would you like to say a few words in German maybe, and then Anna, if you wish, whatever is coming up for you in English or in German?
Ich glaube, das schönste Geschenk an dieser Erfahrung ist das Wissen, dass man alles in sich selber trägt und jederzeit, wenn man danach ist, sich danach fühlt, zur Ruhe zu kommen oder zu sich zu finden, man allein durch seinen Atem, sich das Bewusstmachens des Atems zu sich selber kommen kann und dieses Gefühl wie so rekonstruieren kann und die Kraft zu seiner Kraft zu finden. Das finde ich unglaublich. Und deswegen.
Anna?
Ich muss sagen, ich bin von meiner Natur, von meiner Geschichte sehr skeptisch mit allen spirituellen Themen und Gurus und all diesen Dingen. Und war deswegen eher vorsichtig mit dieser Erfahrung und wollte mich aber darauf einlassen und habe ganz unvorbereitet was ganz Besonderes erlebt und eine wahnsinnige Ruhe und einen wahnsinnigen Frieden. Eigentlich das, was ich mir unter Meditation immer vorgestellt habe, aber alleine nie so erreichen konnte, war auf einmal in dieser Gruppe ganz leicht. Und das war eine ganz, ganz besondere Erfahrung, wo ich auch glaube, dass jeder sehr davon profitieren kann, das einmal zu erleben.
I guess just a big thank you to everyone. And such a pleasure to share time and to share what we're experiencing and inviting others who may enjoy it and benefit. Yeah, I feel very grateful, and I hope this is fruitful in whatever way it can be.
So we would like to invite you and everybody who feels called to be part in this experience, to join us in Munich, in the center of Munich, in a private apartment, on the 20th until the 22nd of October for a whole day. And if you want to join us, we are happy. Und für alle auf Deutsch, vom 20. bis zum 22. Oktober in München im Stadtzentrum, in einer Wohnung, werden wir uns zusammensetzen für 3 Tage, für 3 volle Tage, Freitag, Samstag, Sonntag. Ich kann es nur jedem ans Herz legen, den das jetzt anspricht, den Impuls einfach zu folgen.